I felt like was it like Scooter doing that, like calling off screen. Ready to go. It's the Muppet Show. Bum 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 bum. All right. This is an episode, potentially the first episode, hopefully the first episode, barring many technical difficulties. The first episode of World Will Shout. I'm Dan. I'm here with my two fabulous co-hosts. Fabulous co-hosts, introduce yourselves.
I guess I'll go first. Hi, I'm KYLA T. You can follow me on Twitter, and I talk a lot of crap over there, but I'm happy to be here.
I'm Aaron A. Alvarez. You can find me at Obscure Aaron on Twitter and Instagram. I'm an illustrator, so I draw things. Yay.
Yeah, I draw things too. I should have said that.
We'll figure out how to intro better.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to keep it, like, I was hoping, like, it would just be kind of very, whatever. We're going to cut all this shit out. Well, it was a very active week. A whole lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff just recently. We won't really be able to talk about the fallout of the whole TikTok thing. Who knows if that's actually going to happen. But some other things, some positive things actually happening in the world of media.
Well, let's see. Positive would be the fact that our gracious goddess Beyoncé blessed us this weekend with a wonderful visual album on Disney Plus, which, if you all don't know, is a companion piece to her album that she did for The Lion King called The Lion King: The Gift. And I just watched it today. I think Aaron watched it today as well, and y'all gotta go see it. Borrow somebody's Disney Plus for a day.
It's an art film.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Like, even if you don't like Beyonce's music,
it's an art film.
It's like, it's just a beautiful movie or experience. Yeah. There's a lot of set pieces, like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was actually, like, because I hadn't even seen a trailer or anything, so I didn't know what to expect. And then when I saw, like, damn, the choreography, the art direction, the costume design, fuck, that needs to win, like, an award or something.
Yeah, like, it's so beautiful, and I feel like if you watched Lemonade before, then you might know, like, her style. I was kind of talking about this a bit earlier, but I've noticed that the more Beyonce does visual projects, she's started to have her own, like, certain styles. There are moments where they cut to, like, 8mm film and certain shots and, like, hand movements and choreography I recognized from Lemonade. But it's so nice, and watching it
like a motif?
made me... Yeah, that's it, a motif. I couldn't think of the word. Actually, watching it kind of made me mad because I was like, dang, we could have had the live action Lion King look like this instead of the weird CGI lions that didn't emote. And so I was just sitting here thinking like, there was a part where, so pretty much the whole video kind of goes in sequence with the Lion King. So like you can easily place like certain parts of the story. And there's one with Timon and Pumbaa where it's kind of represented by the king character riding in a car in a city, kind of like forgetting life and partying and stuff. And I was like, that would have been a great scene if we had like a Lion King movie, like Timon and Pumbaa being these two kind of like drifter types who just go around from town to town, like not caring
and actually doing like an artistic like interpretation of that story, which is already an interpretation of it's Hamlet, right? To update it to that, but like with this, like a lot of this is metaphorical, some of it's literal. It's just a nicer take on it that would have been good to see instead of what we got, which was just like Gus Van Sant's Psycho, basically.
Dress rehearsal for the dress rehearsal for the Mandalorian, essentially, and nothing more.
Yeah.
Gave Jon Favreau like a boot camp to try out all that stuff, and then made a lifeless movie.
So my takeaway is that when like you let artists actually express their artistic vision beyond just like movie, Lion King, IP, you might get something that's vastly different than you're expecting. This didn't feel like your typical Beyonce video, didn't feel like a typical music video at all. It didn't feel like a string of music videos. It was like a moving experience, which I'm all for. Like, more artists should do this. More artists should like take their albums or whatever, craft like an art film from it. Like, fucking do it.
Oh yeah, and like this was the perfect ground to do it with this album and the themes of family and legacy and all that. And I'm not gonna lie, a couple parts got me teared up, like the beginning, but that song just makes me like emotional. But then also the sequence for Brown Skin Girl, that was really nice. Like that was very heartwarming. And Power. Because also I love Tierra Whack, and it was good to see her in something because she's been kind of not doing anything right now, and I'm just like, girl, I miss you. Where's your music? Put out more, please.
Yeah, it was like I could actually say it was beautiful, just how it fucking looked, like from a visual perspective, and the songs were all great. So
Oh yeah, definitely check out the album. It's very good. Beyonce had like a lot of diverse African artists on there too, so definitely check it out.
You guys had mentioned artists should do this more often, right? Making this stuff. I
yeah,
think only Beyonce could do something like this because she did have Homecoming, right? She has had the ability to kind
yeah.
of do this
Oh
with her work
yeah.
in a way that like I struggle to kind of think of anyone who can just make like I'm gonna make a whole movie out of my music right now.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a good
Pink
point.
Floyd might be the closest thing.
But like in recent
The
memory,
Beatles,
right?
maybe. Oh no, yeah, and see that's the thing. It's like I mean, because what she's doing really is the idea of a concept album, which she's taking to the limit of what it could be, which is a fucking film, and not leaving it just
Yeah.
on the album. Yeah, it would be cool to see
Right.
more artists actually doing that, and also it's like it allows for more artistic freedom than just like a simple music video or whatever. It also can't be rushed because that's the thing. A lot of music videos, it's like they have to be timed to be released with the album, and this came out how long ago after the album?
Whenever the Lion King
Oh,
movie
so like
was out, which
a
was
year and a half, maybe.
because the
Whoa.
yeah, because
Wait,
the
yeah, that was a
album like
companion.
came out around the same time, so she spent a long time working on this. You can tell
Wow.
because
Yeah.
it's beautifully
So
done, like
yeah, you shouldn't
beautifully
rush
done.
artists, which I guess that's come up recently about making artists produce more content because some people want a
You
lot
make
more
it on
money.
my time.
Um,
Oh yeah,
uh,
fucking
so what are the details behind that, Danny?
it's
Fjordsen.
Mr.
Yeah,
Dumbass.
like the Spotify, the thumbhead. Yeah, he made a statement. You saw the headline that artists should just make more music and make it faster. You can't wait 3 to 4 years to make an album. Which I mean, he's the billionaire genius who created the website where you listen to music, right? So he clearly knows how musicians should make the music. That's why he has all the money because he just understands the music so well.
Make more content and Money Machine go
He,
brrr. Yeah, that's basically what he's doing. Like,
Uh, that's just someone who really just has. First of all, Spotify has been very exploitative with how they pay
oh
artists.
yes,
Speaking of
Yes.
Beyonce, with Jay-Z and Tidal, a lot of artists went over to Tidal because Tidal was paying better. Like
yeah.
they were paying a lot more money to do that. It's just they didn't have enough skin in the game to, have the big migration. But like he's over here talking about like, oh well, if you want to stay relevant and if you want to keep the players up, then you have to make more than one album every 2 to 3 years. And it's like, what?
Like they're
Like,
TikTok
excuse
artists or
you?
something. If you want to
Yeah.
if you want to really make money and be successful as a musician, your passion
Well,
project, your art, you need to make content like 3 days a week, come out with a live stream. Like what? Like he even mentioned like selling a story. It's about putting the work in, about the storytelling around the album, and about keeping a continuous dialogue with your fans.
well,
That is what a YouTuber does, right? Like that's not necessarily
well, that's the thing. So
Well, and it's like only certain.
he's very much
Oh,
in like the
go
old
ahead.
school way of doing things where it's like album every 2 years, album every 1 year. But the thing is how people consume music now, especially like with the advent of Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora, if anyone still uses that, is the idea that you can curate your own music. The idea of deep cuts are kind of dead.
Yeah.
Like, I know bands still put out full-length albums. Groups put out full-length albums. But the thing is, they're not as needed anymore. And it's a fucked up thing to say. And as, like, a fucking like a former musician, it feels sacrilege. But it's fucking true. The Korean model of doing things, like, with K-pop, it's, like, release songs when you make songs and when they're ready. Crazy, right?
when I was getting really into dance music, I was like, wait, these guys don't have albums. They just make a track
Yeah.
and they do it and they perform it and stuff, right? It's a little more honest, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're making money off of, at least in that model, right? Like
Well, yeah.
if you're like a DJ, you're bouncing
And
around
that's the
from
thing.
place to place and trying to have
Yeah.
like hot songs. And it's like, what else is a musician, right?
If-
Like you got to get people going.
If you have enough material, you believe in the album you're making, like full stop, like Beyonce's, then yeah, fucking work on that and release it when it needs to be released. But to just be like, okay, we need to put out something with 12 tracks, that's why you get albums with filler.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
we need one more. We're like, oh, just fucking get this guy to come in. And Spotify is getting fucking greedy because it's like, oh, we need more content because everything's being drained. I mean, that's why they get Joe Rogan. That's evergreen content.
Yeah.
Like,
Was it $100 million?
No wonder
$100
they're
million
going into
for
podcasts.
Joe
It's
Rogan
just-
to spend 3 hours talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, KYLA, you. we know those Joe Rogan fans are
it's
quite
just
passionate.
easy to make. Oh, oh god.
you
But yeah, it's like that whole
I'll
thing.
paste in
Ooh.
your fucking screenshot of you,
We're gonna have our
your weird
own,
nerds.
Oh god, our first controversy will be this meme.
We immediately get downvoted because we should talk Joe Rogan.
Oh.
You cannot talk to Joe
I didn't
Rogan
even
fans.
shit talk Joe Rogan.
Ugh.
That's who I shit talked. Was I talked the really avid ones. Just
God.
bust in the door if they hear you just say something tiny and negative about Joe Rogan. They bust down the door.
Heard you guys talk about
like-
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, exactly. Or they do like the Fairly Odd Parents when he has that battering ram and just bust through the door. That's them. Like you just be sitting somewhere and just think something about Joe Rogan and then they bust in like, what'd you say? Who? What?
Like some Kool-Aid man.
God damn.
I mean, and that's a good thing because maybe all those people will go to Spotify and we don't have to hear them ever again. They can just go yell in the, I don't know, if the Spotify's comments, whatever. They're just avidly listening to Mr. Joe Rogan and all his knowledge.
Well, I mean, Joe Rogan related. So you'll hear us talk more about Rogan in the upcoming episodes, probably, because he's making the move to Spotify. Brian Callen, did you hear about that? His friend Brian Callen, who's always on his show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna be on this fucking show anymore, considering that, the creep cleanse came to his door. So he did the same shit Chris did.
Whoa! Oh, yeah. I did hear that. That guy,
Yeah.
he's very much like that guy. He was in like The Hangover and shit.
Mad TV.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the classic cast members. Same thing with Chris D'Elia, underage girls, young women, young girls.
Now that I didn't know. They were underage.
Oh yeah, and then he
Fuck.
also raped a few apparently. Allegedly, legally you have to say allegedly, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
allegedly.
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 Parody.
All sorts of legal disclaimers there.
So at the time this is all over, Joe Rogan's gonna have none of his like original people except Eddie Bravo probably, but who knows? Eddie Bravo might have done stuff too.
Yeah, don't just don't people just be prepared. Who knows anymore? A lot of these creeps who you would think, oh, I'd never think that it would be them, and it turns out it is them. So just never put anything past people.
Joe Rogan molested Bigfoot. That was his thing.
Dude, that's crazy.
You saw me take a drink and you wanted to say that.
Well, I mean, speaking of creeps, in our own little corner of nerddom, we got plenty. There's been a lot of news about with a lot of big names. And this is nominally a nerd podcast. This is a nerd show, a title from that book that everybody always talks about. We talk about comic book stuff. We kind of talk about comic book stuff a little bit differently. In a way that's substantive and not a top 10 list or anything like that. I mean, there really is comics are rotten. Comics are rotten in 2020. Comics have probably always been rotten, but I just can't take it anymore.
When you go to their inception, they are indeed built on the mafia. So I mean, it's always been there. It's changed hands through the years, but now the creep cleanse has reached comics, and it should have years ago. But the Boys Club.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's reached it to a point where while the creep cleanses normally happen in an insular bubble, now we have like outsider outlets like Hollywood Reporter coming in and talking about it. So it's like on broadcast now for the outside people to see. Whereas before it would be just only insider folks and like people who are fans of comics who would only know. And now it's like, no, you can't ignore it because now everybody's seeing it. Everybody knows. And they want to make sure that you're doing the right thing by taking these creeps and pushing them out. Like Warren Ellis.
Oh, yeah. Who's been kicked off of Castlevania.
Good, I can watch it again.
Yeah, the upcoming season or the current one is his final one. So after that, he's done.
Good.
Yeah, I think after that Batman, whatever the fuck, the 800th Batman book that's being published right now, after that wraps up, it's like
wait, there's a new Batman?
After that mini ends, I believe he's done there too. So long.
Good. Yeah, good. Like using your position of power and your name to like manipulate people and for what, for your own ends and for your own pleasure. Yeah, fuck that. Get that out of here. I don't do that anymore.
The Daily Beast article, I still wasn't able to finish it. Just made me so upset. I never thought something like that would that level of reporting would hit me. And so you had mentioned that outside outlets kind of coming in on this, but so I know Daily Beast covered it and probably IO9, right? But proper comic book media always coming in afterwards. But the thing is, I do remember, I think the Braganza story maybe got busted open by Daily Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
So when was Braganza broken open, and why is comics still not better at comics? Proper comics book media itself is not good enough to examine itself.
I mean, because it's insular. It's so fucking small. And so that recent Business Insider article kind of touched on this. A lot of pros have essentially said that the staff and the editorial is nothing but fucking white people. Yep. It's not diverse at all. And because of that, everyone looks out for each other. Everyone's got each other's backs, but not in the good way, in the bad way, and it's
Oh
really
no!
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, we kind of saw that happen with some recent happenings, which you might talk about once they develop a bit
Yeah.
more. But we've definitely seen a
Oh,
lot
boy, are
of
they
people,
developing.
mostly white men, who are doing or being a part of horrible groups who get like supported by other white men by like these excuses of, oh, he's just dumb, or oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's like always brushed under, or like some kind of rehabilitation
They're like my
happening.
brother.
Yeah, like they're like a brother to me, or they were always nice to me. And it's
They
like
gave me money.
sometimes yeah, that too. And it's just like, I know it's hard to do, especially when you think you know somebody, but sometimes you might not know who they are. I often say, like, in my own personal life, that you don't know somebody truly until you talk about politics. And that could be like actual politics, identity politics, stuff like that. Like, until those questions start happening, you really kind of don't know somebody.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see that once those conversations come up, a lot of these people in comics who work with the people now who are doing asshole type stuff, that yeah, you may not really know them like you think you do, and you have to reevaluate that friendship.
Yeah, like a lot of people you consider allies.
And so you just might have to reevaluate that.
Like, even if you were a certain Batman writer and you were able to get someone to admit to you, in confidence that they are against racism, is that not good enough? You mean maybe there has to be a more stringent test of someone's
I know,
character
it's shocking.
regards
That
to,
seems to be the big marquee banner over comics right now, is reevaluate the people you thought you knew.
And then, yet, even though through all of this, there's still that idea of like, I know that they're a good person deep down inside. I believe in them. And it's like, how many times have we seen this where that's the defense? I believe in them. I believe they're good deep down.
It, honest to God, sounds like, because I'm in beauty drama a lot, it sounds like Jeffree Star all the time. It's like every time he does something horrible, fans and people who supposedly are friends of his come out and say, like, you guys don't know him, blah, blah, blah. Then legit, 6 months later, those so-called friends aren't friends of his anymore, and they're also going like, you guys were right, he was horrible. But the thing is, with comics especially, I don't know how many more times we can do this, because a lot of these guys who they keep saying, oh, we know them and they're good, they keep coming up doing horrible things. So at what point are they learning? What point are they changing? Apparently it doesn't exist.
And it's because they all rely on each other to keep their positions.
You're talking about cancel culture here, and I'm not here for cancel culture. You want to hold white men accountable?
If you cancel a publisher, that then we can't give money to charity to save comic book shops? Because why would you cancel a publisher like that?
Oh no, it's not like you can just do charity outside of publishers. Isn't that a novel concept? Or is it not tax deductible?
Oh no,
the
don't
business
talk
who
about
underpays
that.
people, and
they're good. Yeah, they're very good to me. But
they're good. They're good to me.
Well, those other people, then they're just like
a brother.
A brother who works with the guy who insulted me for over 3 years.
Oh my God!
Just
it's a madhouse. The whole thing is a madhouse. To quote Tess Fowler, "It should all be burnt down." Don't get us wrong. We do love comics. We like comics.
She's not wrong.
But comic books aren't only the big two, and that's what people need to understand. It's not just Superman.
Yeah, and it's
and Wolverine. Comics go beyond.
Yeah, and it's the fact that we actually like comic books that we're willing to be very critical of it, because I don't want to see this horribleness in the industry that I love, or in a medium that I love. Like, I want to make sure that the people who make my favorite books are actually being taken care of and actually don't have to worry about creeps and stuff. I would like to know that my money isn't going toward a person who is like manipulating their power.
Yeah.
Like, is that too much to ask for? I guess it is, but
apparently, yes. In this modern world, surprisingly,
they all got families. It's always the excuse.
The family. The families.
Oh my God.
You cancel. Like, you guys don't think before you cancel.
A member of my family was joining a group that said horrible shit was harassing women and people of color creators for like years, and I knew they were joining it. I wouldn't blame anybody for calling them out. I'd probably join right in and then pull them aside and go like, what the fuck are you doing?
Slap the shit out of them.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like there's too many excuses, basically. Everyone wants to believe that their person that they talk to at a convention could never do such a thing, or maybe they're just stupid and they don't understand. That's a hell of a take. They're so dumb. You need to back off.
They're just so stupid that one brain cell is just It's dying out, y'all. They don't know what they're doing.
Like,
And it's like, yes, they do.
Fucking treating them like Lenny. Like, that's what it is. It's fucking of mice and men over here. Oh, they didn't mean to do that. They just really love those rabbits. They love the rabbits.
I don't know.
We need a George. That's what we need. We need a George badly. Send them into the Phantom Zone.
Throw them all in there.
You know when George... I was just saying when Gary Sinise threw John Malkovich in the Phantom Zone. Yeah.
I was gonna say who do we throw in the Phantom Zone for the first episode? Literally everybody in comics gets thrown into the Phantom Zone. And then
they prove themselves
until they learn how to do better.
The Phantom Zone. You're free to go.
Yeah, it's like
but
it's
until
like
then,
some weird purgatory. We'll just put you
just out there.
Just go and then like we'll give you like a couple of months. See how you do. Or maybe a year or two. Depends on what you did.
We will talk more about comics and not just about what Thor's doing this month or bullshit like that. Like actual serious things, unionization, wage disparity.
Who's our favorite mutant?
Things that actually matter, not the fact that Green Lantern's not weak to yellow anymore. It's like, who gives a fuck?
That is big news. I'm sure people can get those takes many other places. Unfortunately, you can't find out any of the other stuff unless you, I guess, follow us or Colin Space Twinks on Twitter to learn about the actual problems in the industry.
A lot of so this is what's giving me hope with comics right now are the small indie folks or the ones who are more independent and willing to speak up about this. Don't ever stop. Thank you so much for doing it because it's really like making headway for the creators and fans alike to, speak out more about this. So keep it up. Always call out the bullshit because it really does help. Because as we learned in the Business Insider article, it ain't happening internally.
No.
So you got to do it outside.
I mean, if only the great Akira Yoshida would do something. If only.
Yoshida-san brandish his katana and going.
Yeah.
Help us, Yoshida-san. You're our only hope.
Only he can save Marvel in his infinite wisdom.
He fucking did it, not us.
Oh, God.
More into that one day. One day.
That was our first Akira Yoshida reference. You will hear them every episode. Without fail, we don't plan them. They just come up because it is fucking crazy that the EIC of one of the major publishers in comic, which is owned by Disney, which was releasing Mulan, before the fucking coronavirus hit, is like a guy who pretended to be Asian at some point.
What did they put out a Mulan tie-in comic? And he was overseeing it. Like, fucking... I just can't believe that Marvel is pulling a Ghost in the Shell by having this guy be the editor-in-chief. It blows my mind every time I think about it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to pretend to be I'm going to make a whole brand new social media and,
You fired the Latino guy and replaced him with the dude who did Yellowface.
I'm going to make a brand new Twitter and call myself Karen Crabapple and get myself a job at DC Comics. Just you wait. It'll probably be different now, but I don't want you to all... I'm going to get a different name, though, but just watch out. I'll be back in like a year or so with the update.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. Okay, fuck. I really didn't think we were going to ether all of comics in the first fucking episode. I didn't think I thought we were going to pull back like a little bit just out of like respect
right now.
Really had to
We're
that
out. We're enraged. We want to change.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all out there. Like none of this is like it's just like no one would actually say this as part of like a collective thing. So fuck it. Yeah. I'm gonna cut all this stuff out.
All right. So speaking of dumb pieces of shit. Something really fucking stupid happened, which could have totally been avoided. Do you want to take this away?
Like, legendarily, historically stupid. Like, for history books, stupid.
There are receipts,
Darwin Award-winning stupid.
Showing this slowly happening.
If y'all don't wear your mask, wear your mask. Wear a mask. I don't care who tells you not to. They're stupid.
Yeah.
And just wear a mask. For the love of God, wear a mask.
So who's the dumbass who's dead?
Pizza King and former presidential hopeful, Mr. Herman Cain.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
The Tulsa rally for Donald Trump, who tweeted about it prior to going and then going, about how we're going maskless. And then he posted photos there, maskless. And then 2 weeks later, he got really fucking sick. And then for 4 weeks, he was in the hospital, and now he's fucking dead. Oh my
He
god.
was in there, he was up in that rally in the colored section with all 10 of the black people, no mask on, just sitting close
Yeah.
together taking selfies. And it's just like, even on Twitter, because this was another thing, was like, even on Twitter, he was going on about like people wearing masks and how people weren't wearing them and that the public was fed up because of it. And his Twitter was still going while he was laying up in the hospital dying of COVID. They still set it up, and I think they were still tweeting even after it came out that he had died, which is just amazing. It's like, at this point, I don't really have... I just, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, legit, what did you think was gonna happen?
He fucked around and he found out.
Exactly. Fuck around and you find out.
Oh my god.
No need to put Herman in the Phantom Zone. He's already
He's
gone.
standing at the gate.
Just wonderful. And there's already conspiracies about how he actually died, apparently. But I just think it's funny when people who are so into it's a hoax, when they die from this, it's funny.
I mean, the timeline was the rally was going to be like notoriously on Juneteenth, and it got kicked to the 20th. So he's there. Like, I'm looking at the tweet right now. He's sitting there, no mask. And then on the 1st, he tweets about another rally that Trump was going to be at, and like how people weren't going to wear masks, and that's where the fed up in capital letters, man, bold capital letters, that people fed up. The next day, July 2nd, he goes to the hospital, and like by the end of the month, he's dead. So like you literally can watch the progression. I think one of the most embarrassing parts of it was his team or whatever who runs the account tried to delete some of the worst tweets, but people found some other ones. KYLA, you sent me the one
Yeah.
which got me. Like, I think like they probably just did a search for mask and they're like, all right, erase all those. But then they left some of the other ones up where he's just talking about how like people will not stand for the tyranny of having to wear these things on their face. Yeah, don't believe the scare stories.
Well, it's a combination of that, because that same exact day Herman Cain died, one of the co-founders for Turning Point USA died of COVID.
Yeah.
And they had to go back and delete like an old tweet that they made, like where it was a picture of
Nicolas Cage and Con Air.
Yeah, where it's like me smiling at liberals when they start yelling at me about not wearing a mask, and they deleted it. They legit, that ideology killed one of their co-founders.
I just think it's amazing that fucking, like, this Tulsa rally...
Getting owned so hard.
This Tulsa rally has given us so many gifts. All these people were so full of bravado of like, oh, we're going to do it. We're going to this rally. We're going maskless. And it's like, yeah, all your people are dying
their voter
now.
base.
Fucking idiots.
To get so owned that you need a post-mortem correction, right? Like, these are like, this death was embarrassing, so now we have to delete tweets because it makes the death look more embarrassing. And like, it's not the only fallout, we'll get to it, but not the only fallout from this rally, unfortunately. But just utter ownage on the right.
Because this rally also coincided with the youth really pissing the president off because he thought the numbers were going to be in the
Those
millions.
damn kids.
And the TikTok kids decided to...
Is that what we're going to call them now?
To run a scheme on him. And because of that...
I like that the TikTok...
Now he wants to ban TikTok.
Those poor kids.
I mean, we're going to find out, dear listener, you will know, before us on this show, because we're recording this on a Saturday. But by the end of the day, I guess, we'll see if he's actually going to do it. But yeah, we might have no more TikTok, just because... Whatever. There may be a security threat, all that stuff like that, but I mean, he's clearly doing it because he got owned. He's very much doing it because he got owned.
And it's like a whole workaround. Like I said, you all out there will know before us, because the last I heard, Microsoft was in talks, and then also they went and bought all shares of the company for TikTok.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. I don't know if that'll go through, because then there was also something that said that Trump wouldn't let it stand, and that he still wants to ban them, but who knows? It's all up in the air, but I just find it really funny that this dude is so fucking fragile that he decides to ban a whole app because a bunch of teenagers, a bunch of Zoomers went and owned him at a rally. But yeah, and also I like the term TikTok kids. It just sounds like the babysitter club, or like what you call it, like oh man,
those gosh darn TikTok kids.
Yeah, like the Scooby-Doo game or some shit.
The TikTok kids.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't those meddling TikTok kids.
Oh, you had mentioned Gates or Microsoft, right? Microsoft buying that. Bill Gates is in the news, and not news, a whole lot of fake news for a whole bunch of reasons. I just wonder, we obviously don't have the time to get into it, but what the conspiracy world is going to do with Donald Trump canceling TikTok, which was going through a purchase with Microsoft, which is owned by Bill Gates. And so like I'm really curious to see how like TikTok, which has recently been used to spread like a bunch of conspiracy theories, is now like Trump is shutting it down, but like Bill Gates was gonna buy it. So like I wonder where this is all gonna lead. It's just we're inundated in misinformation, and the fact that we live in crazy times does not help.
I honestly think that when those people start thinking about it, because it's such a contradiction, like you were setting up between like, oh, but Trump doesn't like Gates, but he was gonna let him buy TikTok, but also TikTok, and like what's happening? Their heads are just gonna explode. And it's just gonna be it's gonna be too much for them to process. All their circuits are gonna fry. So
yeah,
man.
And did you have a thought? Did you want to cap on that?
Yeah, they're probably gonna tie it to children in caves or something like they usually do. The fucking children being smuggled, and Bill Gates with his supercomputers that get injected into your veins and then make you a slave to Satan. So we know that's coming because
Yeah. And definitely in some upcoming episodes, whatever bullshit that they decide to do with it, we will definitely talk about.
Yeah, because if it's not Bill Gates, it's the demon sperm. That'll get you.
I mean, mind you, Bill Gates is a bad person, but not for the reasons that they're saying. He's a bad person for capitalistic reasons. And
you don't need to make up things about these guys.
Right.
For donating money to his own charities, which defeats the purpose but gives him huge tax breaks. But that's a story for another time. Yeah.
Yes.
So. But he's not like this tool of Satan that is gonna like put mind control shit in us.
He's a tool of Satan as far as capitalism is just evil incarnate thrust upon man. But nothing beyond that. Nothing supernatural.
He's gonna hypnotize us all to use Microsoft Edge. That's what this all is about. That's the true underlying conspiracy theory.
Bill Gates is trying to edge us all.
Fuck. We got Bill Gates in. I'm gonna stop it right now.
Yep, and find like a peace.